Welcome, everybody, to the Whole Heart Social Media Masterclass for today. I'm Diana Morgan, and I am the owner, founder of Whole Heart Marketing. And I'm excited to have you here today. I know some of you are going to be listening on the replay. I'm going to mute everybody so we don't have background noise. And if you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat. And at the end, I'll also pause for questions some more. Um, and so for um, for those of you who don't know me or don't know a lot about me, I have been teaching people how to use social media and how to grow an authentic online presence for almost 20 years now. And I have gone all the way through the SEO and all of that, all the way to the social media and all of the different changes and evolutions. And my background, I had my own business, I had a wedding ministry, and I have a master's degree in holistic health education and counseling. So I have the spiritual and the holistic background, and then I combine that with my inner geek and teach people how to. A lot of my clients are people who are in the holistic or spiritual realms, and I help them to really understand and how to embrace social media. So my mission is to raise the consciousness of social media so that we can use social media to raise consciousness and elevate humanity. And many of the people who come to my classes are, as we were just discussing before we started, people who, just really, you know, bristle at social media. It's, social media can be the most annoying thing that ever walked the face of the earth. And it can also be a powerful force for positive change in the world. And the thing that gets me out of bed every morning is that I get to help people who are healing the world with who they are and their businesses. And, Ralph Waldo Emerson said, every sweet hath its sour. And so what I try to do is help people learn how to really extract what needs to be extracted and what needs to be done on social media with intention so that, you are bypassing a lot of the stuff that we all hate and really being intentional. I also want to share my book. I wrote this book, Whole Heart Social Media Success Formula, What to Say, Where to Play, and How to Win. You can get it on Amazon. And this is basically 17 years of my own experience of how I really grew to embrace social media, because I wasn't always loving it. And you'll read about my 3 rounds of really God, Facebook, this is my life. But it's a powerful tool. And like the thing I tell people, it's like when we walk away from social media, we allow ourselves to be silenced by whatever, by the overwhelm, by the confusion, by the haters, whatever it is, then we're not getting our message out. And the thing about social media that's so important to remember is no matter what happens, we can always still do the free organic reach. We can always still show up on social media and build relationships and grow our following, because there's 2 components to social media, or to the internet, basically. So one component is us users, the user generated content. It's like us liking, commenting, loving, sharing our stories. That's half of social media. And the other half is ads. So if we don't show up, then there's nobody to see the ads. So social media will always need us. And the platforms will always be giving us opportunities to get more visibility. They will always be enticing us to show up so that we can see the ads, right? But we can show up with intention so that our followers can reach us. And that's really where I focus. I do a few boosted posts and a few little ad things, but primarily my online presence is free organic reach. And I average anywhere from like 15 to 30,000 views on my social media through free organic reach. I grew my book to be a #1 bestseller, and all of the things I do and teach are about that. So here we go. Yes, the 2026 visibility shift, like in my email, I said there's a new visibility era shift that's happening. And truthfully, it's already happened. And it is about presence, it's about engagement, it's about authentic influence. And I am going to talk a little bit about AI because it's big and it's really important for us to understand how we fit in with AI and how we cannot be replaced by AI. Okay. So, you can't use AI instead of yourself, and you can't be replaced by AI. And so what I want to really emphasize is, okay, so what do we do? There are positive ways to use it, but the bottom line is that we have to show up. And this is the new visibility era, which is that posting no longer equals visibility. Okay. It's not about numbers anymore. And engagement is replacing volume. Okay. So, it used to be like, what if you have like your, 20,000 followers, then you're going to generate revenue. And that is no longer the case, because if they aren't the right followers, nothing is going to happen except you're going to be overwhelmed and drained and walk away feeling like social media is a big waste of time. So AI has raised the noise level. And so human presence is the thing that cuts through that. Okay. So, and this is big for a lot of us. For example, like I'm an introvert. And so a lot of people that I work with are introverts, and they're people who they don't want to show up on video. They don't want to show up in the way that a lot of people show up on video. And guess what? You don't have to do that. You don't have to show up and do stupid things and be crazy and all that flash in order to be seen and heard. You can show up completely authentically as who you are and be seen and heard by showing up with a message that resonates with your people. So this is the truth room. I always ask these questions, and you don't have to answer. It's just for you to think about for yourself. How do you show up on social media? Are you consistent? Do you show up occasionally? Are you excited to be there? Or does it feel like a big should? Like, ugh. And here's the thing. Everything is energy. We are all connected energetically. So when you show up with like, oh God, I have to do this. I don't want to do it. Fine. I'll just do this post or I'll do that thing. People feel that energy. And you, now that I've told you this, you will start to notice that energy. Who is really showing up and who is just really doing that, like the obligatory, like one of the things I find is I'll ask people like, so, how's your social media going? Well, I'm posting all the time and nothing's happening. That fits, that tracks, because posting all the time is not the thing anymore. Very rarely, this is what my goal is. I would like to hear people say, I'm showing up, I'm engaging, I'm really playing. I like to say use play because I like the mindset that comes along with playing on social media. And I'm really getting and building relationships, and it's going great, because that will be the new era of visibility. So the internet is a 24/7 networking opportunity. And it is an opportunity for us to connect and to build relationships, just like if you went to a networking event in person. It's not a place for selling necessarily. It's a place you will generate revenue, but it's about building the relationships. So what is your intention on social media? Why are you on social media? And that's something that we each have to think about. Are you there for new connections? Are you there to network with existing connections, to build referrals, get clients, share inspiration, be heard, share education, find out what's happening? I hope if you are there to get the news that you're checking at least 3 other sources. You get the fake news on Facebook, but and are you there to connect with family and friends? Okay, so why are you there? That's the number one thing. And if you are there to generate revenue, to get new clients, to get a message across, to build an online presence for whatever reason that you have to build your online presence, maybe it's not to get new clients, maybe you just want to be heard, maybe you just want to get a message out, then you have to be clear about your intention, because each of those things that I've talked about have different actions that you want to be doing. So here is the answer to the question, why do so many entrepreneurs feel invisible right now? So AI has multiplied content volume, and we're all starting to see, like, can't you even tell now when it's AI? You know, you can tell by the language, by the way that it phrases things. And, you know, there's more content, and that does not equal more intention. The algorithms do not reward that more content anymore. They are rewarding interaction signals, okay? The algorithms can determine when we are actually showing up and conversing. They know because there's the ongoing conversation. They know because people save our content. Maybe they follow us. So the algorithms are picking that up. And that's what they're using to determine who they show our content to. So visibility today is not a content problem. It's a connection problem. And, you know, this is the thing. So again, I want to talk about, you know, or bring to your attention, why are you on social media? And a lot of times when I say this, it's a connection thing. People do not want to put in the time. They do not want to spend the time that it takes to show up on social media to really have a result that they want to have. And that's okay. It's a choice. But my thing is, so like I say, you should, like, you want to be showing up for like an hour a day. And I know some of you just went out of your body when I said that. So, and this is an hour a day of intentional social media. This is not clicking on that video on Facebook and now you're on YouTube and you've fallen into YouTube and you can't get out. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about intention, that you have an actual campaign where you're thinking, okay, this is what I want people to do based on my actions. And this is how I am going to walk people down the path to take action on what I would like them to do or know or experience about me. And so it's not random acts of Facebook. It's an intention. It's a campaign. So if you went out of your body when I said I would recommend that you spend an hour a day, and we're going to talk more about that, what that hour a day would look like. But I want you to think about, for you, you know, what would you need? What result would you need to be willing to spend an hour a day? Would it be like 1 or 2 clients? Would it be like, you know, the visibility to get a message out there? Would it be selling a certain amount of products? So what would you need because if you do not have that end in mind, then you are not going to be motivated to spend an hour a day. So that's the bottom line. And that's the decision you have to really make, because it's like just smattering of here and there, showing up once a week or a couple times a month. It's not going to really get you anything that you want. It's not going to get you any kind of a result because, you know, we're dealing with live feed. So basically you have 2 seconds to engage somebody. And once that post is gone, it's gone. That's why I recommend reposting. But it's like, if you're showing up consistently and posting, you know, ongoing, and your posting is intentional, then people will eventually see it. But if it's just a smattering here and there, it's likely being missed by most people. So the evolution of authenticity in the age of AI. The old authenticity was, you know, just be real, be authentic, share, you know, just share, whether it's videos or posts, whatever it is. So that was then. And this is now, which is the new authenticity is have a clear voice, a clear perspective, and a clear presence, so that you basically want people to know what you're about. Okay. I think that, yeah, I've been on Facebook, on social media for, I don't know, 15 years. And people know what I'm about. They know that I'm about getting your message out. Yes, it's evolved over the years and things have changed and my messaging has evolved, but it's still the same message. People know what I'm about. And, you know, AI can help you create the content, but it can't replicate you. And I'll just share this. So I did an experiment where I was promoting a group that I'm in, and I did an AI video. Like I had this AI chick do and then it was fine. I got some followers. Then I did the same video, same script myself, and it wasn't as good. And I flubbed up words and I did this and that, but I got way more followers from me. So I just needed to do it for myself. I was like, I got to know this for myself. So I can tell you that you're going to get way more from the AI. And to be honest, the algorithms do not love AI. I mean, if they're going to detect humans way, that's going to get a way higher priority than AI, because, they don't care if AI sees their ads. They want humans to see their ads. So the visibility framework for, 2026 and going forward is about presence. Oops. It's about presence. So it's about how you show up energetically as well as visually. Presence is, like I say, bring your whole heart essence to your online presence. Presence is about, the conversation. It's about you as a human showing up. And again, thinking of it like a networking event, if you just show up in a networking event and like you're just there to work the room and pass your cards out, you're not going to get much from that. But if you show up and you're there to build relationships and make friends, and you're going to get a way different result. So you can think about it that way, because it is a networking event. It's about clarity. Your message becomes the filter that attracts the right people. More and more, it is about the words you use, the clarity of your message. It's about engagement, real conversation signals, relevance both to humans and the platforms. And it's about invitation. So not sales and promotion. So the invitation is, what do you want people to do next? How do you want people to respond to what you're doing? Visibility becomes transformation, not content. So the biggest shift in 2026 is that engagement is the new visibility currency. The conversation is conversation depth, time spent interacting, and relationship signals. Visibility is no longer follower-based. It is engagement-based. So your audience is not just watching, they're participating. And I want to emphasize that, we see these people put like questions, like, they ask a question. So if you ask a question, I want to encourage you to ask questions that are in your lane, as opposed to like just some random question, because when you ask the random question, like, Brussels sprouts, yes or no, it is basically, for me, it triggers like, oh, this is engagement bait. This person is just trying to get me to comment on their thing to get engagement. And then I'm not going to do it. But if it's a real question, then I'm going to do it. I'm going to answer. And I think that's true with most of us who are seeking authenticity. So your message matters more than your size. Small creators with clear presence win. And the algorithm now promotes relevance over popularity. So just because you have 1 million followers does not necessarily mean you're going to get a higher visibility. But if your content is consistent and relevant to your ideal clients, is how you're going to get higher visibility. So who's having like just at least a little bit of like, oh, okay, I get this. Is this resonating? Okay. Oops. Went the wrong way. So this happened about in the last year or so. To summarize, 50% or more of the content that you see that is suggested for you comes from people you've never heard of. Okay. So it isn't like the only people that are seeing your content anymore are people that are your followers and friends. If you are using words that your ideal clients would use to search for you, then the social media platforms are going to send those people to your social media, and they're going to show your social media to those people. If the algorithm thinks a person is interested in the content, it's more likely that it will show up in their feed, even if they're not a follower. And then they can become a follower. And this is one of the things that I help people with, is how to stand in your message, how to lead with presence, and how to build visibility that feels aligned and not exhausting. Because it's time to stop wasting time on social media. And it's hard to figure out like what's wasting time and what's going to work. So what's losing power now on social media? Posting constantly without purpose, okay, just pumping out posts, over-polished AI content. If you are doing a ton of, AI and you're not re-massaging it to be your own voice, you are not going to get a very high visibility with that. Performing for the algorithm and generic educational content. So basically, if you think about if your intention is to share quality content, to really build relationships and to really engage with people, you don't even have to worry about the algorithms. It doesn't even matter, because you're going to get the visibility that you want. What is building visibility now? A clear message, strong point of view, real engagement after posting. So, drive-by posting is not the way. So that's okay. And this is again what we're going to talk about in that hour. In that hour, it's like post and then stay there and see who comments and what is happening with your content. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. Human voice and emotional resonance. And hopefully you've all discovered that when you post something that is super personal or super from your heart, you're going to get a much higher visibility than when you just, the general stuff. And conversation instead of broadcast, okay? The look at me does not get, it does. Here's the thing. So like I just went to Cabo. You probably all saw my post. You're probably like, oh my God, if she posts one more thing from Cabo, we're going to slap her. But I was excited. I did have fun, but I don't do that all the time. Most of the time I'm posting things that are, heartfelt, they're relevant, they're for conversation. They're not for look at me, okay? Because that is not what's getting the visibility. So I want to just review best practices for the three main platforms that I usually talk about. So for Facebook's best practices, groups are better than pages. Okay, you still need to have a page. Okay, this doesn't mean you don't need to have a business page. Need a business page, but groups are where you can really reach a lot more people. So I want to encourage you to have a public group, and because in groups, people see your posts more frequently than they do on the business page. And of course, they see them on your personal page, but you can't put too much business on your personal page. Conversations versus broadcasts, okay? So one heartfelt, thought out conversation can have get way more visibility for you than just the broadcasts. And the thing is that when you do have those conversations, other people see that content. So everything that you do on social media leaves a footprint, a digital footprint that other people see. So people are seeing those conversations. Comments drive reach. We all know that. And native posts, videos, articles, and images perform best. So native posts are just that post that you would do there. It's not super polished like an ad, but it's just a great post, like a video, an article. One of the things that I've found lately is like, if I do a post about like, even if it's a promotional post about my workshop, or if it's a heartfelt post, if I put a picture of myself with it, the first priority is to put a video. But if I don't do a video and then I just put a picture of myself, it gets a higher visibility than if I just put a generic picture. So that's Facebook. LinkedIn best practices, thoughtful text posts, long and short form with an image. I always add an image. Industry conversations, industry related content and conversations. Relationship first DMs. Okay. Relationship first DMs. So not, I just met you, let me plaster my promotional thing in your DM. Okay. I'm talking about, like, hey, Carol, how are you doing? Just thought about you today and da da da. Not like click here to do whatever, right? Okay. That's true on Facebook as well, but that particularly is good on LinkedIn. Personal insights outperform the corporate tone, and less is more. LinkedIn, one or two, maybe 3 posts a week. You don't have to post every day on LinkedIn. But the thing is, you want to show up every day. And that's where you can join in other people's conversations. So you don't have to pump out your own posts every day. Instagram, carousels still dominate. Reels, must feel human. Stories build trust and save signal value. So when somebody saves your content, that means the algorithms are going to be like, okay, that's a higher visibility. So the AI authenticity evolution. AI can help you with so many things like organizing and accelerating ideas, but it can't replace your perspective. And the future belongs to the creators who use AI to amplify their real voice. I love AI. I use it as a brainstorming tool. I use it as to think of things I may not have thought of, but I do not use it to, post to create. I use it to create my posts, but I always rewrite them. It gives you reach, and the presence gives you impact. So the thing about the new visibility era is you don't need to be louder. And that's the thing that we all have a tendency to, either we try to do it or we feel overwhelmed and why bother. Okay. And so it's that you want to be more clear, more consistent, and more connected. So be clear in your message, show up consistently. And so I'm going to be really clear here. When I say show up consistently, I am not saying post every day. I'm saying post however you're going to post, but then show up consistently in conversation and be connected with people. So the very first thing you want to think about, after this conversation is make sure that your profiles and posts are all optimized. Complete your profile with your clear bio and contact information. I go into my profiles about once a month and I make sure that they're still the message that I want to be putting out there. Okay, because the thing is, it's like we're all changing all the time. In the world of marketing, everything is constantly changing and we are all evolving right now. If you are a higher conscious, purpose-driven person, which most of my clients are, then you are evolving constantly. So you want to make sure that your profile is evolving and representing who you are. Use keywords for better searchability. And these would be, when I say keywords, I'm saying words that your ideal clients would use to search for you. Create attractive visuals and compelling captions and consistently update your profiles and content strategy. Social media platforms favor active participants. So stay present and consistent and engage your audience before you post. So when you're getting ready to, post something, go and do some liking, commenting, following, of some people that you would like to see your content, and then post your content. Engagement is visibility. Respond promptly to comments and messages. Presence builds trust faster than content volume. Comment and share people's posts, show appreciation, lift people up, and consistency is about rhythm, not exhaustion. Okay, so I'm going to talk briefly about the social media success formula, how to play, because I think that this is something that is so important. And this is something that for me, it basically is what I have been doing for like the past 17 years. It's not something that I learned from someone or, I made up. It's what I do. And this is the strategy for free organic reach. So basically, marketing is inspiring people to take action on your expertise. So you meet them where they are and you bring them to the transformation. In other words, you're going to share content, you're going to share videos, you're going to share things that give your ideal clients the feeling that you know what they struggle with. So that's meeting them where they are. And then you're going to bring them to the transformation. So 50% of the time that you are on social media, you are connecting with people. You're engaging, you're building relationships, and you're sharing your own core message. And your core message is, what you're about, the umbrella of your brand, who you are, what you want people to feel when they land on your social media. So that's 50% of the time that you're on social media. On Facebook, it's like, that's your personal profile. So if you're commenting and you're playing with other people, it's from your personal profile because, Diana Konkoff Morgan loved your post has way more impact than Whole Heart Marketing loved your post. Like I got a birthday message from somebody and it was from their business page. I'm like, I don't even know who you are, but thank you. It's like versus that. So we're playing on Facebook, we're playing from the personal page. Okay. And then you're just engaging with people and you're building the relationships. And so then on your on LinkedIn, you kind of divide it. So half of it is the business, half of it is the personal, and that 50% is the personal. And same on LinkedIn. I mean, on Instagram and whatever other platforms you're using. 40% of your content is to serve, to educate, inspire, and motivate. And it's education from your own experience. It's education, maybe it's testimonials. So it's I want to challenge you to go to that deeper level of education where you are actually connecting personally with people, because that's what they're going to read. If you're just posting, I call it just blah, blah, and AI stuff, they're not going to read it. Okay, so that's 40% of your time. On Facebook, on your personal profile, you can do that. But it's like, so don't make every post have a link. So some of your posts are education. Some of them, they might be a blog that links to your website. It might be a, something that is a link to something, but mostly it's sharing your passion for your business. So on your personal profile, you're sharing your passion for your business. And on your business page, you're sharing the more businessy posts. Same on LinkedIn. And then 10% is where you're going to invite. You're going to offer something free. For example, like this is my free training that I offer once a month. And, but it's still promotion. It's still 10 and it's 10%. So I want to encourage you to keep in mind, this is like a whole strategy. So if you're only doing the 10% invite, then that's 100%. So you want to be doing the whole 50, 40, 10. And this is a good screenshot to take because it's a good strategy. So I want to pause for a minute and ask you to put in the chat anything that maybe thing that you've learned, one thing that you are going to implement so far from today. And I'm going to keep going. The engagement. Yes, thank you. I did. Yeah. I reinforced engagement. Okay, thank you, Anna. Okay, so this 50% of engagement to connect, follow, love, comment, share, and I like to say care. Oh, getting your bio updated. Okay, good. Thank you, Olga. So caring is connect, acknowledge, respond, and engage. So it's like take the time. If somebody comments, acknowledge, respond, engage. Don't just like, oh, that's nice, and move on. That's 50%. Timing, optimize your timing online. And this is what we're going to talk about that hour. Play online when your audience is most active. And how are you going to know when your audience is most active? By being online for an hour a day. Okay, that's how you're going to know. And we're going to talk about that hour in a minute. Use analytics tools to find out when your peak engagement is. Test different posting times and analyze the results, but mostly maintain consistency. Okay, Carol says frequent bio updates. And oops, it got covered by the by this. Frequent bio updates, engaged posts before as well as after. Very good. And so Anna, I have to share, lately I started to like social media because of the conversation and staying in touch with friends. Yes, it gives me, you give me ideas on how to be more present with my messages. Great, awesome. Okay, so relationship-centered social media. Exactly, thank you. Okay, so it's really important for you to think about, who are you talking to? So this is something that we do, like, so we open up Facebook or we open up LinkedIn or wherever we are and we go, what should I say? But the question is, who am I talking to? Who is that one person who is going to resonate with my content, that's going to lean in when they see my content go through their social media? Who is that person that's going to feel that I really get what their challenge is? So think about, who am I talking to? How do I help them? What is the struggle? What do I offer? And what is the transformation that I offer? And if you started using this before you start any social media post or engagement, if you asked yourself these 4 questions, your social media results will change. Just that one thing implemented is going to change your social media. Okay, I will update my bios and post after engagement. Excellent. Thanks, you guys. Thank you for playing. Okay, next. Here it is. Stop the scroll. Stop scrolling. Okay, and this is where this 1 hour a day comes in. So you're like, Diana, what do I do in this 1 hour a day? So it's not one straight hour. It's 4 15-minute segments. Maybe one in the morning, one mid-morning, one afternoon, one in the evening. And it's intentional social media. And here's where you're going to start. You're going to pick 5 people a week to create deeper connections with. Okay, so who are these people? They're active on social media. They're active networkers. They offer a different service to a similar target market, or they're, the same service, but you're different people, so you would attract different clients, and they have a similar values in their messaging. And okay, so is there an easy way to list active connections? Not really. You can basically, where you start with this is you start with your friends and maybe their friends, any groups that you're active in. And so how you can tell if they're active is you pick somebody and you would go to their social media and see what they're doing. If their last post was 3 months ago, they're probably not active. If their last post was yesterday, then they are active. And basically, I'm going to switch to this for a second. You guys can see Facebook, right? Okay, so if you go to your friends, so here's my friends. The people who are at the top, the highest up, are people who I've interacted with more frequently. But the other thing you can do, see these 3 dots here? If you click on those, you can make people your favorites. So say you have some people that you really want to see your social media, and say you have some people that you want to play with more. You can make 30 people favorites, and those people, you are going to see their posts more before you're going to see other people's posts. It doesn't really affect them, but you're going to see their posts. And then what happens is they are they're gonna start seeing your content in their feed. And then you can also unfavorite them and they won't know. So you can favorite by clicking it. Now it's favorite, and then you can unfavorite it. And you can change it all the time. So you've got 30 people and you can change it all the time. Okay, there's a bunch of questions. Let's see. Is there any easy way to, okay, I did that one. On LinkedIn, lots of clicking and scrolling, then still. I don't exactly understand your question, Krista. I'm going to ask you to unmute.
Oh, I'm just trying to avoid the amount of click and scroll, like trying to see if there are. So you mentioned favoriting people. Is there a way to favorite? Maybe that will help me avoid clicking, scrolling. a little bit. Is there a way to favorite people on LinkedIn? Because I know
I,
Twitter used to have lists. I don't know if they still did, but that was my favorite feature. Facebook at least has the friends list. I think Facebook has other lists too. But
yeah.
what about LinkedIn? Is there anything to help me?
On LinkedIn, you can do searches. You can do like for example, if you have an event, you could go into, well, I can't do it right now because I don't have an active event, but you can go into events and you can create searches by by industries. So you can search that way. What I'll do is I'll do a little video about it and I'll put it in my Facebook group to because I don't have any active events right now, so I can't really, it's a little harder to show. But mainly, if you start with, oops, if you start with people that you already know, like if you're in a networking group or if you're in a group on social media, that's really where you want to start because you already know those people. We already have so many people that we can play with.
I'd love to. I'd love to just create a custom feed of only those people. And like you say, shift people in and out of the favorites list on LinkedIn. But I don't know if you can do that. I
Okay,
wish you
so
could.
here's how you do it. So how you do that is you can, if you start engaging actively with somebody, their stuff is going to show up in your feed and your stuff is going to show up on their feed and they're going to show up higher in your feeds. I don't know if you remember
Okay.
the engagement thing that social media that Facebook was doing for a while where people would go, hey, everybody, only 25 people are seeing my posts. Click here.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was engagement bait, but really because it's random and it's just like, hey, click on my thing so I can get more visibility. But when you start to play with these 5 people, and I'm going to talk about what you do with them. So basically, you're going to be liking, commenting, and sharing their content. If so, you pick these 5 people, you're going to go to
Hmm.
their social media and you're going to start playing with them, liking, commenting,
Okay.
sharing, etc. Then what's going to happen is they're going to, of course, reciprocate because that's what we do, right? Oh, Krista liked my
Sometimes.
thing. I'm going to go and see well, at least they go and see what you're about. And the same thing with, so you're going to see your notifications, you're going to see those people playing with you, and their stuff is going to show up higher in your feed. So that's if you did that for 30 days and forevermore, but at least 30 days, what's going to happen is your feed is going to be content that you want to see. And basically, the other thing you can do is start eliminating the ads. I mean, you'll have to see some ads, but you can eliminate the ads that you don't want to see by using the 3 dots. So if you manage your
Okay.
feed on Facebook and LinkedIn for like a month, it's going to start becoming what you want to see.
So you're recommending I start with 5 people, keep it simple,
Correct.
keep liking and commenting on their posts specifically, and then see how my feed
Exactly.
changes.
And
And
not
don't, and I guess the trick is going to be, unfortunately, and I hate this, but not engaging with people that I want to see less of because
exactly.
Facebook audit, I mean, because LinkedIn audit, it's just such a shame that we have to do this, play this game. But
Well, I mean, it is, but it's like if you look at it as, okay, here are the people that I want to play with. If you look at it that you're just being intentional, it's the same thing in a networking group that you would tend to gravitate towards somebody who you were attracted to. It's
that's
really
true.
it's just being intentional with your social media. So, what will the key thing is to not be promoting. So you're not going to like paste your blah blah promotion in their messenger. You could say like, hey, I've been noticing your social media. I really love what you're doing. I'd love to, you know, get together for a Zoom coffee or something. Or you could say, it seems like you might like this other group that I go to, this other networking group, but you're not going to be promoting. And so if you do this, you do like 5 people a week. Here's what's going to happen. 2 or 3 people will play, a couple people won't. Next week, you do it again with the same people who are playing, and then you pick 5 more, pick 5 more. Within 3 or 4 months, your social media is really going to start to accelerate, and you're going to really start to like your social media. So making a booster group and comment, yes, you can do that. And another thing about that I want to say, Carol, is a lot of people do these, like they do these posting parties, etc. And the thing about that's fine, but make sure it's people that you want to be playing with. Because if it's just people that are not relevant to what you're doing, not in your lane, if you will, it's not going to really benefit you. So, keep that in mind. So now let's talk about those 15-minute segments. And this is a good screenshot of this particular screen slide. There's the word. Okay, so you're going to check your notifications on all your social media. You're going to explore who you've played with in the past. You're going to like, comment, share, make maybe one in-depth comment. You're going to think about what you can share someone else of their content, make another in-depth comment, and make, some other comments. So if you think about it, that's 15 minutes. That is a powerful 15 minutes. Okay. Instead of like, okay, who should I play with? And you start scrolling and you start like, don't do that. Don't scroll anymore. I mean, you can scroll if you want, but don't scroll on your business time for social media. So this strategy, and then, ultimately you're going to have somebody who helps you with your posting and maybe helping you create some content. But this is the highest and best use of your time on social media. To do this, I've been doing this for the past 15 years. That's how I got to #1 bestseller in my book. That's how I built my social media, free organic reach, and it's a powerful strategy. Okay, so along with this is to collaborate with influential people. So this is back to Carol's comment of creating a group. This would be where you might want to create a group, create a group of people that you want to collaborate with. And hey, let's all, engage in each other's social media, because we're all targeting a similar group of people with a different thing that we're selling. So you can partner with influencers in your niche, collaborate with complementary brands, co-create content with a broader reach audience, and share and promote each other's content. Partner with people in your lane. People, as I said. Build relationships to build influence. Human presence builds visibility and reach. Show up consistently, stay connected, and continue to be curious. Okay, so that's 50% of your time on social media that we just talked about. Now we're going to switch to the 40% educate, inspire, and motivate. And as I said, marketing is about inspiring people to take action on your expertise. What do you inspire people to do? Think about your core message. What is your social media about? So 40% is to show up to serve. And AI can support you. For example, AI can help you create content, but it can't be you, and you can't use that content straight from AI. Leverage hashtags. Okay, so hashtags are still a thing. In probably the next year or two, they will not be a thing anymore because of AI, but they are still a thing. Okay, so hashtags connect your post with topics and audiences. They allow users to search by hashtag, and they tell the platforms who to show your content to. So the strategy that I recommend for your hashtags, Facebook, use 5 or 6 hashtags, but don't use the same ones every time, because then the bots pick it up as spam. And also, don't use hashtags on every single personal post. Okay, so your hashtags, you might want to think about the strategy of doing like 3 categories. You have hashtags for what the content relates to, hashtags for the problem to be solved, and hashtags for the audience. For example, the content relates to, maybe it's like, hashtag tips on Facebook, hashtag, how to understand Instagram. That might be mine. For the problem to be solved, hashtag get more clients, hashtag reach more people. And then for the audience, maybe, hashtag women, purpose-driven women entrepreneurs, something like that. So you're having 3 different categories of hashtags. On Instagram, you can use more hashtags. What I do is I have like 20 hashtags, but I switch them up. So I'm not using the same ones every time. And use hashtags that relate to your content. Don't just put hashtags that are, oh, I think people should see this. It's really use hashtags that relate because you're using keywords. So the bottom line is to share valuable, informative, and engaging content, maintain a consistent posting schedule, whatever that is for you, at least 3 times a week. But then that would mean you're also going to be showing up the other days. And you can share other people's content too. Use a mix of content types, articles, videos, infographics, and focus on providing solutions. And I just want to say, when you share, the share button on Facebook is not really, it doesn't really get you a whole lot these days. So when you do share content, what you want to do is you want to share it as an original post, copy the content, copy the image, and then tag the person and thank them for sharing. That's how you're going to get the highest visibility. Don't forget to tag them, because if you don't tag them and you just share the content, it's really not a win-win. So another thing to share that's very powerful in the algorithms is user-generated content. Okay, this is things like testimonials, reviews, lifting people up, humor and memes that's in your lane, relevant to your brand, inspirational quotes, heartwarming stories, educational content, personal stories, and milestones. All of these are, things like, for example, if I do a workshop and I get comments on Facebook, I'll take the comment and I'll make like a little graphic and I'll share that. Here's what somebody said about my workshop or my speaking or my review of something. But these are all, you can see, you can use AI to give you ideas, but you can see that these are all very personal ways to share education information on social media. Host live sessions, use live streaming on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, engage your audience in real time, host Q&As, promote live sessions for a better turnout, promoting them, and download and share them across all platforms. So video is top, then pictures are second, images are second, but video, any video folks, I'm a recovered video phobic. I'm not anymore, but I was. Create and share stories. Okay, stories are the new authority signal in 2026. AI can generate content, but it can't generate lived experience. So I want to say one thing about stories, though. When you post a story on Facebook or Instagram, it's only up for 24 hours. So it's really important that you also, if it's something you really want people to see, you want to post it on your feed. Because otherwise, I don't know if you've had that experience where you click on something, a story, and then it's gone before you can even see it. Plus, the print is so little. If you're me, you can't even read it, even with your glasses on. So share in the feed as well as in your stories. Okay, so that's educate. And here is your 10% invite. Okay, so you can invite people with a free event, in person or virtual, products, special offers. If you sell products, you can, offer a 100% money back guarantee if they don't like it, if you don't have something free to offer. But, you want to give something for free to give people an idea of how it would be to work with you. So offer something like, for example, this gives you an idea of how it would be to work with me. I mean, it's a little different because in my classes, it's more interactive, but you're still getting me as opposed to a download or a ebook or something. When you are promoting your thing for your offer, use your story as your superpower. Okay, that's something that AI can't replicate. Share a personal story about how the product or service helped you or someone else, rather than just, buy this or and then you can add DM me if you're interested. And share, instead of sign up for my coaching program, you could talk about you remembering when you or a client struggled with something and how that changed it for them. So it's back to being human. It's back to taking that next level, going to that next level of sharing something that's human and authentic. So I would love for each of you to put one thing in the chat that you will implement from today. And if you're watching this on video, you can do that in your notes, or you can put it in my Facebook group, or message me. And while you're doing that, what I would like to do is I want to share with you if how you can pick 5 people a week. Great. Thank you, Carol. I want to share how you can continue to work with me if you are so inclined. So I offer a monthly masterclass live on Zoom. And what it is, it's really learning about what to say, where to play, and how to win. It is a class where you can learn what is working and what is not working. I'm always staying on top of that. I'm the one who reads those 20,000 emails, so you don't have to, and takes all those free trainings and does all of that, so that I am on top of what is working so that you're not wasting time. This class is it's the Whole Heart Social Media Monthly Mastery Program. I have been teaching this for like the past 10 years. And it's like your monthly home base for staying visible, aligned, and consistent. And for those of you who are like, I just keep falling off track and I'm not being consistent, I'm not showing up, and because I don't know what to do, or I'm get overwhelmed, or whatever the reason is, they're all real reasons. And when you're in a class like this, you have accountability, you have the information you need, and it helps you to stay on track. It's a space for heart-centered entrepreneurs who want marketing to feel human and not exhausting. You're getting ongoing guidance and support, clarity and connection, accountability, so you don't become invisible. And it's just a place to grow your visibility. Each month we do a teaching. We do teaching and strategy and hot seat coaching. So a lot of times, somebody will be like, I'm really struggling with clarity, or I can't figure out, my message, or we talk about campaigns. We talk about all kinds of everything that you need in order to be successful on social media. And we have weekly check-ins with, we have a Telegram group. Sorry, you guys. I can do this. We have a Telegram group where we have weekly check-ins, and people can, like, if I give homework, I'm super homework oriented. So if I give homework where, it's like, okay, I want everybody to do this thing, then you can put that in the group and we can all see what you're doing. And it's supportive. It's a small group. It's not like a big, it's maybe 10 or 12 people. And we also have a bonus masterclass once a month. For example, in February, we did a class on the latest on ChatGPT. Yesterday, we did a masterclass on how to create better videos with YouTube and Facebook Lives. So the bottom line is the entrepreneurs who will thrive in 2026 are not the ones that are posting the most. They're the ones who are speaking with clarity, showing up consistently with presence, engaging like real humans, and using AI as support, but not as identity. I have 2 simple membership options. It's either $55 a month or $550 for the year, where you get 2 months free. And we meet live on Zoom. It's the first and third Tuesdays from 9 a.m. to 10:30. And basically, if you're ready for a steadier, more human, visible way to stay visible, this is the class for you. And hopefully you can see, even from my teaching today, I'm very pragmatic. I'm teaching the things that work. I'm teaching the things that are going to get you the results that you want to get. Over time, you're going to notice that you're going to have more clarity of second guessing. You're going to become more consistent without pushing. You're going to have confidence in your message and a supportive community around you, and momentum to build from small aligned actions. So it's not just information, it's actual interaction. The way we do each class, the first we start with a check-in, and then we go to teaching. All the classes are recorded. So if you miss a class, you get the recording. And, I'm super accessible to help people, because I'm just really committed to you guys getting your visibility and showing up. So I am going to put the link in the chat, and you're also going to get an email after this class. But I would love to have you in this class. And when you join, all of the videos are available to the past master classes and the past past classes for this year. And if this time or day does not work for you, but you really would like to do it, let me know, because I am going to be starting another session. So I'm sort of taking a poll on the time and days that work for people. So please let me know, because it'll start in the next couple months. Okay, I'm going to look on here and say, watch this again, taking notes. Okay, good, Olga. Updating your bio. Thank you, Anna. Okay, awesome. Awesome. So does anybody have any questions? Carol.
I do. Thanks, Diana. This is great. So
Welcome.
you said about liking and commenting before you post. What happens when you schedule your posts? Because I schedule my posts the week before, so I don't have to think about it daily.
Scheduling your post, you know, uh, basically according to, I check this out a lot. And according to what I've checked out, it's actually okay to schedule your posts.
Okay.
And it's crucial that you are also showing up. I mean, I schedule my posts all the time. I use
Okay.
Meet
Yeah.
Edgar, but
Yeah.
I'm showing up every day,
Oh, yeah, me too.
engaging. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's totally fine.
Okay, good.
Mhm.
Thanks.
Anna.
Do you use any app that are schedulers, like Pabler or other like
Oh yeah,
this?
totally. I use Meet Edgar because I have a lot of content and I like how you can repeat evergreen content. But you
Okay,
can
because
also,
I'm just looking what to use actually, because I want to have access from the phone too, not just from the computer.
yeah, I think Meet Edgar has an app. I don't use it for my phone, but I actually have somebody who does that for me, the scheduling. But you can use the Facebook Planner. Um, Buffer is another one. Here's my thing about, yeah, exactly. So
Buffer on the phone is a disaster.
here's my thing that I like to tell people. Unless you're using a scheduling program that has been in existence for quite a long time, I always tell people don't sign up for the year, just do the monthly, because what happens is you're using it and it's really great, and then all of a sudden they sell to another company and it's terrible. So the other thing too, so I do use the Facebook planner for stories and Facebook and Instagram stories and posts too. I use that. But even if you're not using, I like I said, I don't know if I think Meet Edgar has a app. I don't know, but I can tell you that no, you cannot tag people. Oh, let me take that back. No, you can't tag people from the scheduling app. But one of the things, there are some apps I don't know what they are, but I did research it, that you know how you're not supposed to put the link in the post, you're supposed to put it in the comments. There are some apps that will put the link in the first comment too. So if you just Google scheduling program, including putting the link in the first comment, they'll come up. I just decided I didn't want to switch for now, and I'm just doing it manually.
Because I was thinking if we create all of it, it's good that it's going to go to LinkedIn, Facebook,
Yeah.
everywhere at the same time.
Well, okay. And that being said, the other thing is, I think that it's really better to share different times, different days, different posts. And that's one of the other things I like about Meet Edgar, is that you can schedule it that way. You can have it go like different days, different times, different posts. So it's not all going to the same. I mean, I do that. Like if I have a promotional post, I'll just send it to everybody and I'll post everywhere in the world. But in general, I rotate my content so that it's because, here's the thing. Again, it's all live feed. So maybe you're going to see my post on LinkedIn on Tuesday, or maybe you're going to see it on Facebook on Thursday. Plus, I do different content for the different platforms. I'll do something different on LinkedIn than I do on Facebook, because, it's a little bit different tone and different people.
Yes.
So you can't, that's why I do love, I do love Meet Edgar. I'm kind of I have preference for that, you can tell. I would love to be able to sort my scheduled posts and repost the evergreens. Yeah, and you can do that on Meet Edgar too. You can post, you can have some that you post, you know, evergreen, and then you could have other ones with dates. It's really like I did a lot of research on it. I'm always looking for the least expensive everything. And Meet Edgar, it's like $500 a year. And you can do
How is called? Sorry.
what?
How is the app called?
Meet Edgar, MEETEDGAR, one word. And like I said, I don't know if there's an app because I don't do it on my phone. My VA does that. But I love the kind of control you can have over the posting. And another thing I like about Meet Edgar, so a lot of these, because I have a VA and he's in Pakistan, and like I've been using him for 8 years, he's really great. And a lot of those scheduling platforms, like if your VA is out of the country, they keep bumping them out and they have to keep re-verifying. And Meet Edgar, it's not that frequent. They don't do it that hardly ever. They make you re-verify your social media platforms every month or so, but they don't keep making you re-verify your person, which is really annoying. And they don't have a lot of bumped posts, so I like that too. So, any other questions? So I would love, okay, Anna.
Okay, before we finish, sorry, I don't know if ladies you want to stay. So you offer us to work in a group, but how about, because I'm kind of like lost in all of it, and do you work individual with people?
I do. I absolutely do.
Rhythm and then move on forward?
Yes, I do. I work with people one-on-one coaching, and what we should do is set up a call. If that's okay, I'll send you a link and we can just have a call and talk about it.
Yeah, let's do that because I don't coaching anymore. I don't have enough time during the day between YouTube videos, like you just said. I do all my videos myself live, and and doing everything. I just simply don't have time, and I enjoy now social media because it's more conversational. But I don't have a clear message out there, and I'm kind of lost how to start.
Right. And that's exactly one of the things I offer. I call it my whole heart social media makeover. And it's like when people they're already doing all the stuff they're doing, but it's like they don't have, like, it's not all in alignment and directed toward a specific campaign. And I do help people with that and that's usually one-on-one because everybody's in a different place with it. So yeah, definitely. Let's chat.
Okay, let's chat. Thank you.
Sure. Can I send it to you through Messenger?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'll send you my link. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for being here. Watch for the replay. I hope that if anybody's watching, I hope you guys will think about joining the class and would love to answer any questions you have. If anybody needs, like after you hang up, you're like, oh, I forgot to ask this. I'm going to send me the question via Messenger or whatever, and I'll put a video in my Facebook group and answer your questions. All right. Have a fantastic rest of the day, and I'll see you all soon. You're welcome. Take care. Bye.
Bye.